MLAs from west of the Ban are often angry at what they see as a lack of public sector jobs in their constituencies, and a recent government report has backed them by saying more jobs need to be located out of Belfast. Today, a motion from the SDLP called for decentralisation, in particular for Enniskillen, Cookstown and Downpatrick, to get a bigger slice of the pie. Tommy Gallagher proposed it, but watch for a less than helpful, badly timed interjection from party colleague Patsy McGlone.
In the West, we're very tired, and many people actually quite sick of the usual circular argument that we get from Invest Northern Ireland about lack of infrastructure, and that being an excuse for failing to bring investment to our area. Now that Enniskillen has been named in the report, along with the other two towns, as having problems in terms of accessibility, it's the duty and the responsibility of this government to address the problem in the interests, as I've said, of equality and fairness and economic opportunity, because we all know that lack of economic opportunity is directly linked to social inequalities and deprivation. It will be the task of the Executive to implement the recommendations of this report, to move it on from rhetoric to real concrete benefits on the ground for the people across Northern Ireland. No, I'm not giving away. The clock's moving on. The important point, thanks to Peter Weir over here, the important point in relation to the Executive is that they can hardly do this work if they can't agree to meet. And it's not surprising that so many people out there are wondering whose interests really are uppermost in the Executive. So we don't want to be told again today, for example, that we should be grateful that there's a new road being extended from Dungannon to Ballygawley. Yes, that's helpful, but upgrading roads in another county is not good enough, and it's certainly not upgrading roads in Fermanagh that needs to be done. Bain's comments are directed at the problems in Enniskillen. Thus, the town is poorly served by its transport networks. No news to anybody who tries to get through that town. What's needed is a bypass, and that has to be a priority. It's been asked for from DRD for more than 20 years, but it's not getting done. And the people of the area are still waiting, and as we see in this report, job opportunities bypass the area again. Current investment strategy by INI, I've mentioned that, is the present strategy seeking to direct investment to Derry and to Belfast. And that's something that I hope the review that the Minister with responsibility announced will change, because that's a strategy that needs to change. We have a programme of government and an investment strategy for Northern Ireland which have as objectives economically competitive and socially cohesive cities and towns, as well as thriving and sustainable rural communities. And if we're going to have sustainable rural communities, we want to look at the present policy on closure of rural schools.
But remember, give way.
Well,
it worked. It worked. Just in relation to the current situation in many of our rural constituents, particularly myself, who, like Mr Gallagher and others in the Chamber, represent areas west of the Ban, we don't see a lot of compatibility between the recommendations of the Bain report and, in fact, what is currently going on at the moment. One cursory glance of the local press last week will see that the likes of Northern Ireland Water, in fact, is pushing for further closures of local offices in our local towns west of the Ban. We've already had them denuded of rates offices and roads offices. But in the middle of all that, I think if we had a functional executive and fit to bring forward projects, fit to throw industry, would the member agree that those projects would be beneficial west of the Ban? I think especially in regard to the Policing College in Cookstown, which would help our construction industry at this time.
Time is up.
That turned out to be a timely intervention.
Time is up on the. There's no extra time on a 10-minute debate. I call Mr. Simon Hamilton. order, please.
With friends like Patsy, Tommy, who needs enemies? Anyway, that was because of technical reasons. He'd run out of time and he wasn't allowed to continue.